Hey guys, it's me, Dax Moy from daxmoy.com, here with just a couple of quick nutritional tips for you to make your journey through the 30-day challenge just that little bit simpler. Now the first tip, it's not so much a tip really, it's just a very strong piece of advice. The first tip is to stay 100% elimination diet compliant. That means no deviations whatsoever. And the reason for this is really quite simple. I know a lot of people say you shouldn't have to do anything 100%. I kind of agree. As you go on through your life and you start to eat, normally, so to speak, then yes, you should be able to deviate just a little bit. But right now, right at this stage of your challenge, please, please, please stay 100% ED compliant. And the reason is really quite simple. At the moment, your liver is actually trying to do its thing. It's trying to re-establish your internal environment. It's trying to get rid of all the toxins that have built up both in your fat cells and in your liver and in other organs, okay? Until you stop putting more crap into your body, it's very hard for your liver to cope with the crap that's already in there, okay? Which means that you're going to cost yourself more and more results. And obviously, as you know, as you start the elimination diet, usually for the first 3 to 4 days, you're feeling a bit crappy, okay? Your energy drops a little bit low, you're feeling a bit headachy, you may even exhibit a few flu or cold-like symptoms, okay? This is quite normal, this is your body just giving up the toxins, but if you continue to put more crap into your body across the course of that detoxification process, all you do is extend the timeline of you feeling rubbish, okay? So instead of kind of cheating, instead of saying, well, a little bit of it won't harm me, think of it from this perspective. Actually, a little bit of it is harming you, not in terms of it's killing you and it's, you're going to drop down dead as a result of it, but it's harming you because it's going to keep you feeling crappy for longer, it's going to keep you looking crappy for longer, and it's just going to elongate the timeline until you see some really good results. Ultimately, the reason you're doing this elimination diet challenge is so that you see and feel some results, hopefully quite quickly, but results that are going to last for you for a very, very long time. So let's just do things right. Let's do it right from the very start. Get your body clean, get your body clear, don't cheat, don't deviate. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, again, it's another really simple one. Tip number two is to make sure that you consume plenty of water. Okay. Now I'm not talking about throwing down so much water that you feel that your back teeth are floating and you feel sick all the time. You can actually make yourself quite ill, and you can slow your metabolism by drinking too much water. You can effectively flood your body's thermostats, if you want to put it that way. Okay. But if you're drinking, most people are actually quite seriously dehydrated. And if you're drinking too little water, you can actually have an extremely sluggish metabolic system. Okay, which means that all of your internal organs, they're not extracting all the nutrients in the way they're designed to, and you're not excreting correctly either, right? So let's find a really nice balance here. And what I normally suggest is for you to take on about 1 litre of water for every 50 pounds of body weight that you are. And within that litre of water, make sure you put salt in. Now, salt isn't your enemy, and in this case, salt is really, really going to be your friend, because unless you add salt to your water, you really are going to be flooding your body. And what you'll find is that you're going to live in the toilet. You're just going to have to keep rushing to the loo every 5 minutes to go for a pee. I'm sure you don't want that, so instead put the salt into the water. I'm not suggesting you drink, seawater, seriously salty water, but make sure that you put some salt into that water so that you rebalance your body's internal what am I trying to say here? Internal electrolyte balance, okay? So that you rebalance your body's electrolytes. You're not going to be rushing to the loo all the time, but more importantly, you will actually accelerate your metabolism. But here's the thing: if you're starting to feel sick from, it's probably a sign that you're suffering from water intoxication. And so one of the things that people often do is that they forget to drink, they suddenly realise that they're behind, and they drink an entire litre in a couple of minutes, and they become essentially intoxicated by water. Don't do that, don't make that mistake. Instead, just be sipping at water across the course of the day. And if you're genuinely starting to feel like a bit yucky from drinking the water, then just don't drink anymore. Okay, but please do add the salt, because if you add the salt, you will see and feel a massive difference. Okay, your body will get rid of all the excess bloat water that you're currently carrying. Your liver will clean a lot faster, and you'll start to drop fat a lot faster as well. What you'll also do is reduce the amount of headachy kind of symptoms that you get across the course of the elimination diet. And the next tip, again, really, really quite simple. Try to avoid eating before 10 AM. Okay. Now I know everyone's been kind of told, you know, have breakfast like a king and, like, you know, lunch like a prince and dinner like a pauper kind of thing. Forget about that, right? And during this challenge, what I'd like you to do is really try and test yourself against not necessarily how long you can go without eating. It's not the idea that you're trying to starve yourself, but it's this idea that you don't really need to eat first thing in the morning when you wake up. Most of your body systems are gearing up, right, for you to kind of, you know, cortisol and other hormones are gearing up to get you up and get going. And that's what we call a sympathetic nervous system dominance, okay? So you've got your sympathetic nervous system trying to get you up into going. Now, whenever you eat, eating falls on the opposite side of that spectrum, and eating becomes what we call a parasympathetic dominant activity. So when you eat, your body is trying to slow down because it's trying to go into rest and digest. Okay, so if your body's trying to go rest and digest, but you're trying to do get up and go, which part of that is going to win? We really don't know, and in a lot of people, it just causes a whole bunch of digestive stress. You've thrown food in, but because you're getting up and going, there's no way for that food to be taken care of, so it just sits in your gut like a lead brick. Okay, instead of doing that, try not to eat before 10 a.m. Right, just try to extend. I hate calling this fasting because that's not the intention, right? I'm not asking you to intentionally fast, but I'm just trying to say extend the period in the morning where before eating, so that you actually have your hormones working in your favour. Okay. Then, as you know, once you get past about 10 a.m., you know, kind of cortisol is coming to the end of its peak, and by about noon it starts starting to dip down the opposite side. The closer you get to that, the more chance you've got of really digesting those foods. Fourth tip. Try not to eat too frequently, right? Again, this goes against a lot of what you've been told, a lot of the whole kind of eat 6 to 8 meals a day and snacks and all the rest of it. Never ever go hungry. Let's just forget about that. That's a nonsense. Never ever go hungry is an absolute nonsense, right? We're designed to use up what's in the tank. Put it this way, if you keep throwing food in before you even reach the point of the first level of hunger, your body is actually saying, I didn't need that, but thank you for giving me some more. You don't need food that frequently. And another reason that you don't need food that frequently is really quite simply that frequent ingestion of food requires that you go into those digestive phases much, much more often. Now, the full digestion pattern, certainly emptying the stomach and the small intestine, takes about 6 to 8 hours anyway. So if you keep throwing more food in on top of that, what you're trying to do is digest new food before the old stuff's even moved through the canals. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, extend the periods of time between eating. Most people, you know, I myself, at the moment I'm weighing about 111 kilos, right? 111 kilos, I don't know what that is in pounds, 220 to 245, right? I'm weighing in at about 245 pounds. I only eat, on average, 2 meals a day. Okay, and they're not massive meals, they're not huge plates of the stuff, okay? If 2 meals a day could keep somebody my size going, I'm certain it can keep most people going. So eat less frequently, and don't forget about don't concern yourself about these ideas of, I must stop eating carbs by this time of the clock and stop doing this by, forget about all of that, okay? Just don't start eating till after 10 a.m. if you can help it. Now, if you're truly starving, if you're truly hungry, eat. But if you're not, then leave it. Okay, leave it and start to eat when you actually genuinely become hungry. Okay, then try and get by on 2 to 3 meals across the remainder of your day. Like I said, I only do 2 meals. Try and get by on 2 to 3 meals, and then just relax. Okay, don't overthink your foods. Just stay 100% elimination diet friendly. Drink plenty of water. Get a really good variety of foods. So in this case, let's think about that from tip 5, okay? Tip 5, a great variety of foods. Don't continuously eat the same foods over again. Broccoli and chicken, broccoli and chicken, broccoli and chicken, okay? Whatever it is that you're going to eat, try to rotate those foods. So poultry, right, what else could you have? Yes, you could have chicken, but you could also have turkey, you could also have game birds. There's a whole bunch of other things you could eat. In terms of red meats, okay, you could have steak, you could have lamb, you could have pork, whatever it is that you want. In terms of fish, rotate your fish. Try not to eat the same foods over and over and over and over again. Okay, each one of those foods is laced with a whole bunch of its own hormones. And we're not even talking about if they've been factory farmed. I'm just talking about the natural hormones in those foods, the natural responses and reactions in your body. Try to get away from the idea of eating over and over and over and over again of the same stuff, and instead rotate through them, and you'll see and feel a much bigger and much better response to the elimination diet process. Okay, so that's it from me. Just a couple of simple tips. I hope you find them useful, and I look forward to speaking to you again really soon. Take care.